guys, this video is for both. Why isn't it recording? There we go. Hi, already made a mistake. So this video is to go through classroom expectations in the virtual world in both world history and strategies for success. The reason I'm recording this video together is many of the expectations for world history also apply to strategies for success and vice versa. And I will point out some differences. Now, as you know, we are in a virtual classroom. If we were in a regular classroom, I would be doing these classroom expectations with you in the class and we'd be talking about them. But in this virtual world, and you don't know me yet, I'm not sure you would be comfortable giving examples. So I wanted to just get, plus, a lot of you, the only experience you've had with virtual teaching is in the spring. So I wanted to set up some expectations of what it looks like what expectations look like in Mrs. Keating's virtual classroom. So the big things, I'm asking you to come to class prepared. I'm asking you to be respectful. I'm asking you to be present, and I'm asking you to behave in an appropriate manner. And I'm going to take a couple minutes to go through what that's going to look like in the virtual classroom. So let's talk about being prepared. In a physical classroom, being prepared would be if you're in strats, coming to class with, like, for example, your math packet or something to do. If you were in history or any class, being prepared in school is easy. I come with the materials that the teacher requested. I have pencil, paper, etc. Well, what does it look like in the virtual world? Well, coming in the virtual world is that your computer is either charged or plugged in. So if I go and I look at the top and I see that I only have 30% power left, I'm going to make sure my computer's plugged in. I'm also going to make sure that being prepared is coming to class on time. My daughter's band teacher used to say to be early is to be on time, to be on time is to be late, and to be late is unexcusable. Well, first of all, I know in this world, in this virtual world, sometimes things may be getting in the way, but if you're early, you're definitely going to be prepared. A perfect example, this summer, I was in a professional development and I came to class late, well, on time, and my mic wasn't working. Well, because I didn't know that situation, I wasn't able to fully participate in class. Had I shown up 5 minutes early, I would have had time to test my mic. So you definitely want to be logging in and ready to go. If the class starts at 8:10, you should be in that class by 8:10. You should not be logging in at 8:10. If you are in World History 2, any asynchronous or on-demand work should be completed by the due date. You do not want to keep assignments piling up. And when that says completed, that also means submitted. So you want to make sure being prepared is ready for the next day's learning, and that's completing assignments on time. In strats, prepared means we give you in strategies some time to work on other classes, so bringing that work. Just because it's work time in strats, being prepared is not, okay, I'm going to shut off the computer and I got a 40-minute break. No, being prepared for strats is, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be working, I'm going to be in Blackboard Collaborate, and Mrs. Keating is going to be there to help me when I have a question. Respectful. What does it mean to be respectful? I'm not sure if you notice, well, you probably noticed, having your mic and audio off when you log in. In Blackboard Collaborate, I'm able to take those functions down, but when I do give students access to video and mic, please make sure that they are off when you enter the classroom, and then we'll call on you we'll ask you to raise your hand. In Blackboard Collaborate, there's a little raise your hand button. when students have access to their mics. Now, that's when you're in the large group, just as if we were in the classroom and we had 30 students, we would not be all talking at once. But when we moved into a small group, then you would be interacting. So being respectful is when we go into breakout rooms, you respond and interact with your classmates. Turning on your mics when you're in a breakout room, saying hello. If you would like and you're comfortable, turning on your video, but definitely turning on your mics and talking to your members just as you would do in the physical classroom. Also, I know that we are in very situations where we cannot control. I always worry Mr. Keating's upstairs and I'm scared to death that sometimes you're going to hear him yelling because he's having computer issues. I usually have to tell him mic live because I'd like to keep my job. So if there's any loud noise that's going to be present, mute your microphone. If your dog just starts barking, it's very distracting for us in a classroom to be trying to function and your dog's barking or there's street construction. So mute your microphone, move to a separate room. Let's talk about being present. In the classroom, it's easy for you guys to be present. You are literally there. What I'm doing is I'm making sure you're putting your cell phone away. I try and take distractions away. I can't do that. I can't come to your home and say, take the computer and put it here and put you in a little bubble. I can't do that. So being present, it's going to fall on you. Eliminating all distractions. That is going to be so important. If you can't go to a room, for example, you share your bedroom with 3 or 4 siblings, maybe you're working in the kitchen. If you're going to be in a room that has a television, that's going to be very tempting. If it has your Xbox, PlayStation, gaming system, going to be very distracting. So you want to, if you can't get away from that, you want to make sure that's off. You want to make sure your phone is out of reach, because if I'm teaching and you're getting text, I know I see it. My daughter's away at college. I want to check her text. That phone is nowhere near me during my teaching. Also, being present is not ghosting. I know we had students in the spring who ghosted. That means not just logging into Blackboard or logging into the class, but that means really being present, responding to teacher, student questions, feedback. If we call on you, you answer. You just don't ignore us. So you really want to be responding. You want to be present. Also, being present is a suitable place to work. If you have this class in the morning or after lunch, probably it's not going to be going to do you any benefit to be working in bed, because you're going to be tempted to fall asleep. I would recommend a table with a chair that forces you to sit up. So finding that suitable place to work. Asking questions when you don't understand. Mrs. Keating will say, what questions have I created? If I've created a question, please ask it. Also, there's going to be a lot of independent work. Using that time wisely to create that, to work that independently, or working in groups when assigned. Also, when that's being present, is communicate with your teachers. So, for example, if you have a sibling, and let's say it's their lunchtime, and you know that there's an independent assignment, Mrs. Keating, can I take that 30 minutes and do that independent work a little bit later, but I'll get it to you? Yeah, have that conversation with your teacher so we can work that. But when you are working independently, you are working. You are finding that time. You are carving out that 30 minutes we ask. Being active, again, we've talked about the virtual community, and probably the most important is to avoid multitasking. I could sit here and I could teach, and I'm in a room that has a TV. I could put my old lady cop show on, or I could put Law and Order on, or a movie on, and try and teach with the movie. Guess what, guys? It's not going to work. It's not going to work because my brain needs to focus. History, math, science, your brain can only do one thing at once. So avoid that multitasking. The last thing we're just going to ask you to do is behave in an appropriate manner. Even though this is a virtual classroom, school rules apply. All right? I understand the hood up. That I can't do anything about, but I will tell you school rules apply. Discrimination, you saw it in the syllabus. We are not going to bully. We're not going to cyberbully. Well, I'm not going to say we're not going to. It's not going to be tolerated. That's what I mean. Things of that nature will not be tolerated. So basically, all school rules apply. Dress in an appropriate manner for learning. And that's going to be not only what's comfortable, but what's going to force you to focus. All right, just dress in an appropriate manner. Folks, don't get on the camera with a picture of a pot leaf, for example, or a beer advertisement. That's not dressing appropriately. So please make sure you're not coming. I'm not coming to class in a bathing suit. You don't come to class in a bathing suit. Appropriate. Done. Again, appropriate language. Like I said, there may be times where you see Mrs. Keating hurriedly muting that mic because Mr. Keating isn't using appropriate language. Please be appropriate language. Also, respectful language. There are going to be students and that you're going to disagree with. You're going to have disagreements with their opinion, and that's okay. I disagree with you because. Don't say, you're an idiot. I disagree with you because. Positive and constructive feedback to a classmate. Good job. Good job. Awesome job. Doesn't really help me with the feedback. Positive. Awesome job that you remembered that George Washington crossed the Delaware on this date. Do you see how I've taken that? Good job. And I've given you exactly what it means. Also, constructive feedback. You're a moron. You're an idiot. Not constructive. So please be constructive. You may say that first example, oh, I noticed that you mentioned George Washington was a successful general, but you didn't mention his successful strategy crossing the Delaware. That would be the difference. Any issues or concerns, please feel free to contact your teachers. And again, good digital citizenship. I will tell you, email, please remember to use your school email. We are going to practice being professionals this year in a work environment. We only use our work email, so we will be corresponding through our work email. And thank you for taking the time and reviewing these expectations with me. Have a great year.